Hey, it's time to dish with D. That's me. Thank you for clicking on this video, making yourself a priority. I am Denise. It is Saturday, and Saturday on this channel is say hey to Slim, is Weight Watchers weekly meeting topic and my weekly weigh-in. I am a Weight Watchers member currently, 10 pounds over a goal. I do not attend meetings currently because they moved, and they were far enough. I wasn't going another few more minutes. But once I hit my goal, you better believe I'm going to go back there and prance. But yes, I bring you Weight Watchers weekly meeting topic. A lot of you love this video. A lot of you need this meeting topic because you can't attend a meeting. Your meeting closed. You don't like virtual. And I hear a lot of times, I think I said this last week, that virtual doesn't hang on the topic too much. So you guys appreciate this video, and I appreciate bringing it to you. All right. All that stuff. Let's welcome my newbies. Thank you for joining me, and welcome to the returning lovelies. Let's start off with the weigh-in, right? That's how we usually start off. Some people like let you wait to the end, but I just bring it right out there because that's why you're here. How's Dee doing? I stepped on the scale now let's just rewind the tape, as Weight Watchers likes to say, and go over the last 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, I was down 0.2. Thrilled because it was Memorial Day weekend, and you and we talked about the cake, a few days of cake. And then last week it was a maintain, and I was at a party the night before. Had an adult beverage, had a little dessert, had soft pretzels, some shrimp. Oh, it was good. I did well, like you have to look at the things that you do well. Like, not that, oh my God, you ate night before weigh-in. What were you thinking? No. Look at you ate, and look what you would have eaten. They had these mini soft pretzels. I would have went back and had like 2 more. Like, it's a win to have that. And you have to remember that. Praise yourself. Give yourself some credit. Don't sit there and look at all the negative things that you do. Look at the positive things that you do. And when I got on the scale today, my lovelies, I was down 1.8. What? Did you hear that? Yeah, I know. I was a bit shocked. I'm not gonna lie. I knew I had a good week. But you can have the best week and the scale doesn't say it. But I definitely knew that whatever the scale said, I knew I had a good week. And you had to remember that. Like, if you did the best you could, ate the best you could, you'd be proud of that fact. Do I think some of this was from last week? Possibly. I don't ever lose this much in a week. So I'm thinking part of this was last week's because, like I said, maybe I was a little inflamed in the morning. I had some sodium, but I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'm just rolling with the punches. It's a fluctuation. And a fluctuation in for me. I couldn't think of the word I'm looking for, but let's get to the topic because Denise doesn't know what she's talking about. She's half asleep still. It's 8:30. Just got out of the shower. Skincare is done. Aren't I glowing? I mean, I don't know. Girls, get a good skincare routine. That's what I know. All right. I'm exhausted already. I looked at this when I put it up. I'm like, I love this topic already. Before I even read what they have to say, I love this topic. Why? Because it's lifestyle. Going out to eat. Yes, because just because you're on a weight loss journey doesn't mean you don't go out to eat. And I love the fact that they tackle it. Because I got a lot to say about it. And I talk about going out to eat all the time. There are people out there that won't go out to eat. I can't eat out. Oh, yes, you can. And let's see what they have to say, and I'll tell you what I have to say. Someone else is finally doing the cooking. Yeah. But you'll still want... Wait a minute. Someone else is finally doing the cooking, but you'll still want in on a different kind of meal prep. Allow us to explain. All right, try this. If you can map out moves and make decisions ahead of time. Save up weeklies and rollover points leading up to the meal for more flexibility. Look up the menu or ask your host to pre-track your meal going to a friend's offer to bring a low point dish. Eat low point snacks before leaving home to help you stick to your plan. See, that last thing I love. Eat a low point snack before leaving your home because you're not going to go there starving. I say this all the time, and I know so many of you don't. You sit there, you starve yourself all day, and then bad things happen. I'm telling you because I've lived it. That that's diet mentality. I'm not eating all day because I'm going to somebody's house. Yeah, come on, you have to eat. You don't have to eat, big ass portions, but have a banana before you go out the door. And the other side is if you have to make an on the spot decision, start with a brothy soup, salad, or choose a 0-point food as your main room and make room for drinks or desserts. Zero in on low point code works like grilled, split entree, split an entree with a friend, have home, order an appetizer as your main, use an appetizer plate as a buffet to help keep your portions on check. The plate thing I don't go for because let me tell you something. You have a small plate, you're piling that plate high. We are. Come on, we've all done it. The smaller plate thing doesn't work. Honestly, it's just, you just pile it. So, I mean, let's go for mapping out a decision. You're going somewhere. I love the idea of looking up the menu and figuring out what you want to eat. Like I said, a lot of times there's always grilled options. I mean, if you want to have something a little bit more pointier, like a steak or something fried, then plan your day around it. Have a lighter breakfast and a lighter lunch. We don't skip anything because we're going out to eat. You could eat a salad. You could eat a freaking salad. I love the people that don't eat lunch. Eat a frickin' salad. It's lettuce. Lettuce is made up of water. It's roughage, though. It is filling for you for temporary to at least get you there. You're not going in there starving. Eat the salad. Throw some veggies, carrots, cucumbers, tomatoes. Make a little light vinaigrette, lemon juice, little squirts of olive oil. You have yourself a fantastic, easy snack before you go out to eat. Definitely pre-track it. Definitely, what they didn't say here, and I'm going to say it because I just am. If you have to go into weeklies, oh my gosh, go ahead. You're not going to 30 of them. You may need a few. And that's what they're there for. Please use them. They are there for moments like this. When if everybody's having a cocktail and you sit there and you're like, you really want one, but you don't want to spend the points for it, you have weekly points for it. There are lighter cocktails to have. Most liquors, a shot of a gin, a rum, a vodka is generally around 3 points. Generally, I'm not, So you put that in with a seltzer, you have a nice little cocktail there. Have them throw a freaking olive or a cherry in it. This will make it look pretty. You don't have to eat it, but it looks pretty. Squig a lemon, squig a lime. It looks pretty. And you know what? And it lasts you all night. White wine spritzers are another one of my favorite go-to cocktails that are very low in point. So don't feel to sit there and not have one. It's an occasion. You're going out to meet friends you haven't seen for a while. There's nothing wrong with 1 or 2 adult beverages. You have weekly points for it. So don't sit there and be the girl who orders the water with the lemon while everybody else is ordering an adult beverage. Guess what? They split that bill evenly and you're still paying for it anyway. So have the adult beverage, but make a better choice for it. Don't have like a pina colada or something that's a mudslide. Yeah, see, that's not the best option. But a glass of wine, a wine spritzer is a better option. And there's options out there. I mean, I'm not a huge drinker, so they're the ones I always go to gravitate towards. A sangria on a special occasion, because remember, that's usually wine and fruit juice. It's kind of like, that's a little bit higher in point. But again, if that's your only cocktail and that's your 1 week night out, indulge. Don't sit there on this diet train because I'm telling you, life's going to pass you by and you're never going to live the rest of your life like that. Let me give you that advice. But now if you have to make on-the-spot decisions, start with a brothy soup. Sometimes they have pasta in it. It's not a sin to eat a few scoops of pasta in your soup. I should say a few teaspoons. Like some there's cream soup, some there's pasta soups. Always go for the pasta and broth. Never go for the cream soup. Unless you want to spend the points for it. Again, you're allowed to do that. Always, like I said, there's fish, there's chicken, there's usually grilled. Now, I'm one not to sit there and say no oil on it. There are people out there that do, and that's your prerogative. But honestly, if I'm having a 0-point protein and some vegetables and maybe a potato, I don't really care about the little bit of oil that they use because you know what? Oil's good for you. So I don't quibble about that. You may, and you have that right too. It's your journey. You do you, but I'm telling you what I do. And and when you worry about little things like that, that gets you a little bit crazy. And I want to stop the crazy. I want, like, well, I look crazy today. I'm very hyper. I don't know why that is, but I just look a bit nuts. I just want you to sit there and be zen about your journey, and sit there and don't like freak out when you go out, and don't like freak out that, oh my God, there's something on the menu I can have. You know what? Here's an FYI, which they did say here. You could have a half portion. You don't have to eat everything they bring out to you. And you have a problem with the bread basket. I do. Now, depends on where we're at and depends on the bread. Some bread, it's like, it doesn't look that good. And there's some bread that's house-made, semolina, crusty. Yeah, I'm going for the bread. Sorry, not sorry, because that bread is worth it to me in the points. So yeah, if that's a homemade crusty semolina roll, and I may dip it in olive oil. Just depends on where I'm at. I tend to go more for dipping in olive oil than I do for butter. I don't know why. I just like it, especially if it's infused with garlic. Oh, there's this one place we go to that they have the little garlic cloves, floating in it, and they're like. So what I do, I pull them out and I smash them on the bread. Roasted garlic is fantastic. Here's a quick recipe. Get a bulb of garlic. You can actually probably cut it in half, brush it. You don't have to spread. Brush it with a little olive oil, wrap it in foil, roast it. 400 for maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And then that garlic gets real soft, and you can use them as you could just squeeze it out. You can use it as topping of toast. I'm sorry, it's delicious. It's so good. I would take that over butter any day of the week. I didn't have it for breakfast. But yes, those are things look at it and, if you're on this channel, is it point worthy? Is it worth spending points on? Sometimes you have to stop and think, because sometimes we just react. Oh, the bread basket, I'm just going to grab it. No, look at that bread. Look at it. I've been in many restaurants that it's mediocre. And I don't eat mediocre bread. Or I could get that bread at home. But the crusty semolina rolls, ciabatta rolls, yeah, they're all worth it. Or you get that nice crusty bread with the seeds on it. Yes, and have yourself a piece. It's not going to kill you. It's not. And, if you have a hard time saying, I can't just have one, well, then that's when you push the basket down the opposite of the table. Or maybe if you know the company you're with, say to them, hey, could you move this basket down there? I'm going to have a piece, but I don't want any more. I want to save room for my, dessert, my adult beverage, or my drink. And people are usually, when you're honest and open with your struggles, they're usually helpful. If they're not, then we can talk. Ordering an appetizer is always good. But here's the thing. Make sure it's enough. Don't leave that place hungry. Sometimes there's app portions that are nice, and sometimes there are app portions that are not. So I always would ask, what's the size of that? Just to know, because you don't, if you're leaving that restaurant hungry because you didn't eat enough, that's not the answer either. You want to make sure that it's enough. And sometimes if you don't want to spend points on a starch, a potato, a pasta, or rice, then you could ask for double vegetables. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not diet mentality. That's just double vegging because you want to have that piece of bread. You choose what you want to spend your points on. Do I want to spend my points on a potato or that piece of semolina roll? Or guess what? I want to go into my weeklies a little bit deeper and have both. It's within your right. You have these points to use, not to just look at and put on a shelf. They're there to be used. A lot of people don't use them, and I'm not sure why that is. And those people are diet people, because they're never going to be able to use them because they're eating too less. So I'm not a big fan of the appetizer plate because we pile that on that plate. Raise your hand if you do that. Yeah. All right. Make a backup plan. Almost out of points. Weeklies too. Tip: before you even order an entree, try this. Remind yourself that it's okay if you eat more than you intended, but don't totally give up. Like I said, it's not like you're doing it every night and every week. It happens. Don't make yourself feel guilty for eating. We should never feel guilty about food. Step 2, decide about how many extra points you're willing to spend and order accordingly. Step 3, when you get home, track the meal and plan, pre-track, and what low point foods you'll eat the next day. Definitely. Don't sit here and act like it's a get out of jail free card because you overate. Like, okay, well, I overate tonight, so I guess tomorrow, since it's Sunday, the hell with it. No, you get right back to your routine on Sunday, because if you don't, it's going to snowball. Trust me when I tell you, it's going to snowball. And that is being on a journey, and that is lifestyle. When you could bounce back, it takes work. It takes thought. It's not going to happen overnight. You may have that next day pork out because you ate more than you normally eat. But you just keep in mind that I need to get back on track. I need to get back on track and do things like get out of the house, take a walk, go shopping. That always helps me. Just getting away from the kitchen usually helps me. Put in a good movie the next day. Find a show to binge to keep yourself out of the kitchen. But don't starve the next day either. I know a lot of people that overeat the next day. So the next day I love the ones that wake up and say, oh, I'm not even hungry today. Oh, yes, you are. We're always hungry. You are hungry. You're going to tell yourself you're not, because you're not allowing yourself to eat because you feel guilty about what you ate yesterday. That's not a reason to starve yourself the next day. You get up, you have the regular breakfast that you always have. Unless you're eating at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, I guarantee you're going to be hungry for breakfast. Let's dive a little deeper. Every day where every single thing, ever have a day where every single thing played out exactly as you imagined it? Never. If only. Yep. Yet we still think and plan ahead, because that's how we make sure things go smoothly as possible. That keeps us on track, because you're keeping back to your plan. You might not go as you want, but you have to have I'm not a huge planner, you know this, but I have a general plan and general things that happen. So I kind of plan accordingly. And if you remember last Saturday night, we had a unplanned takeout night. We weren't supposed to. It was just a whole hot mess. So Steve picked up Popeyes, and he got the blackened chicken sandwich. Now, I assumed blackened chicken, how bad can that be? It was 17 points bad. I never looked at it, so after I ate it, and I'm like, not until when I was going to track it when I was filming, oh my God, it's 17 points. Am I going to sit there and throw it in the trash because I didn't plan 17 points? No, I ate it. I didn't eat, I had a salad on the side, I think. I didn't have any of the chips that Steve had. I knew better than to sit there and say, well, I'm having a 17-point sandwich. What's a few more potato chips? No, I knew that I had to reel in my sides. And next day, I just went back to my regular breakfast. I had a beautiful scramble that had zucchini in it. It was phenomenal. So I didn't let that 17-point sandwich derail me. You're going to have things that are higher in point, and there's nothing wrong with it. I had weeklies to use. I did. So it's nothing to feel bad about. The same is true when it comes to eating away from home, like a friend's birthday party or vacation, or when you just don't have time or energy to cook. Planning ahead for how to handle these kinds of disruptions on your usual eating routines, whether they're scheduled or not, helps keep us on track. Help is the key word, because even if we planned what you're going to eat or order, you can't control everything. Nope. Maybe your host insisted on you trying dessert, or the bread basket was warm and right there, and it was semolina rolls. No biggie. In those cases, enjoy the food and yourself, and then regroup and get back to your routine as soon as possible. There are minor bumps in a much bigger journey. Abso-freaking-lutely. We think alike sometimes, Weight Watchers and I. Yes, don't sit there and say no. If you're saying no to something like that, you're on a diet. I'm telling you, there are diet people out there. There are. They don't think they're on a diet, but they definitely use the diet mentality, because when you say no, when you say I can't, I'm not, that's diet mentality. When you go with the flow and you have some and you get right back on track, that's lifestyle. And that's what's going to keep you reaching your goals and staying there. Because in life, things come up. In life, you go out. I don't know anybody that doesn't go out all the time. I mean, there's people here that go out a lot. Doesn't mean you can eat out. I mean, who's that one? What was his name? Who ate Subway all the time, and he lost weight because he ate well when he was out. There are good choices out there. Just because you're eating out doesn't make it a bad choice. I'm sorry, it doesn't. And people will tell you it does. Well, they're on diets. 3 fast facts. According to a global survey of almost 5,000 members, 59% said they find it difficult to make healthy choices at special events. I know that because I hear it from you guys all the time, that you're afraid to go out. I don't go out to eat. I tell my husband no. I'm like, don't ever tell. If somebody wants to take you out, you say yes. Is it take a little bit of work? It does. You have to go over that menu. And sometimes you're not going to know the points of something. Oh my God, I don't know the points of that. But it tells you what it's cooked, how it's cooked, the ingredients that it's cooked. It'll say it on there. You know, there's wine, you know, there's oil, you know, there's cream. So you give yourself, you deconstruct it in your app. You put yourself a tablespoon of this and a tablespoon of that. Because on your portion, how much you're not having a half a cup. So you sit there and you give yourself a couple tablespoons of oil, of cream, of wine, and you give yourself points for it. So there is what, and that's why I tell people, you deconstruct it. You deconstruct the ingredients and you give yourself a reasonable amount. Like I said, you're not having a cup of wine in that. Not happening. So don't don't overcompensate either. Oh, I'm going to overpoint it. Be reasonable. Planning ahead for what you do in these situations can help you stay on track. Successfully navigating these experiences increases your confidence that you can do it again, helping the journey feel more livable because it's life. And like I talk about parties, when you go to a party, do not go hungry. Do not skip meals to go to a party. That is a diet. We have to eat. I'm not telling you to go out there and, eat a sandwich. No, you can go there and eat some like veggies and dip in some hummus. Make my 0 point hummus and you're not going there hungry. Look around. So the big things are, don't go anywhere hungry. Look around before you put anything on that plate, even at a buffet. I've eaten during weight loss mode, especially back before COVID, of course, at a Chinese buffet. And I always lost. Why? Because I made good choices at that buffet. You just can't sit there. I'm going to pile, just because you're there, you pile everything on. No, you look around. There's always a fish. The chicken and beef and broccoli weren't coated. Yes, they had a sauce, but my chicken was 0. My broccoli was 0. The beef I had to count. And they always had like string beans. They always had, like I said, they had fish. So they always had soup. So they always had pick and peel shrimp. So they didn't have salad bar, which is funny because I never ate the salad bar pre-WW. No, I would just skip over the salad bar right to the fattening stuff and the desserts. I even had dessert when I'd go. I'd have a little bit they would have soft serves. I'd have a little bit of vanilla soft serve. Not a lot, a little bit. A couple of, a couple of tablespoons. There's nothing wrong with it. I didn't have the big bowl I would have had with the crushed up cookie on top. But I did have a little bit. Because you can't let life go by. Because you'll be sitting there looking and, But yes, come away with this is eat before you go out. Check before you go out. And check before you put it on your plate. Because you need to see what's there. Because you can grab something right here, but over there is something you want even more. And be very diligent about that. And use your weeklies. Use them. That's what they're there for. Don't put them as the holy grail just to look at. If you're doing that, we need to talk. You have to incorporate them. I go into my weeklies all the time. Always have. And I've lost 100 pounds. So there's something to be said for that. But if you've never tapped into those weeklies and you've been on journey for a while, I don't know what to say about that, because when you do tap into it, you're going to be overeating in your, minds because you've undereaten for so long. So like I said, when people sit there and say to me, oh, I don't eat enough on Weight Watchers, they have weekly. So you're obviously not eating those weekly points, or you would be eating enough. So that is it for this week's WW topic. I love this, dealing with the routine disruptions. Go out to eat. Don't turn down invitations, but prep. Now, if you all of a sudden, say you had your regular breakfast and regular lunch, and all of a sudden you get this, dinner invitation out of the blue, you can still go. Like I said, 0 point proteins, double veg it. You can do it. Because if I can do it, I know you can do it. So, like I said, if I could sit here and talk, you guys can do it. It takes work. Yes, it takes thought. Yes, it takes, you got to sit there and do this. Nobody's going to hand this to you. If you're having problems, you're not putting the work in. You got to sit there, like I said, deconstruct the recipe. You can do it. The app has all the ingredients that are in that recipe. Put it in there. Figure it out. and enjoy it. So that is it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this WW meeting topic of the week. It's one of my favorites because I eat out as much as I can. Somebody's inviting me out, I go. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And let me know in the comment section below how your week went. How'd you do? Was it good? Was it bad? Was it ugly? Hey, I gotcha. So I will dish with you another day. Have a great rest of your day, my lovelies. I may or may not have a meal prep up tomorrow. I'm not sure. But bye-bye for now.